Hi and welcome to Majestic.cloud. In this video I will explain what VPC peering is, and I will show you how to set up a VPC peering connection between two VPCs. But first let's see what VPC peering is and how can it help us in our work. A VPC peering connection between two VPCs enables you to route traffic between them using private IPv4 or IPv6 addresses. While VPCs are isolated from each other and normally can't communicate to other VPCs, the peering connection allows them to communicate with each other as if they were on the same network. You can create a VPC peering connection between your own VPCs in the same account or in another AWS account, and you can also create a VPC peering connection between VPCs located in different AWS regions. These are called inter-region VPC peerings. Okay, so the main characteristics of the traffic that flows between two peered VPCs is that the traffic is encrypted and remains on the global AWS backbone network, so it doesn't transit the public internet, thus providing more security and better network speeds. Also, there is no single point of failure for communication. However, there are some limitations for VPC peering. Let's see one of these limitations, and that is transitive peering. So if you have three VPCs and VPC1 is peered with VPC2 and VPC2 has a peering connection to VPC3, that means that traffic can freely flow between VPC1 and VPC2, and also between VPC2 and VPC3. However, VPC1 cannot connect directly to VPC3 through the second VPC. So that is not possible in a peering connection. Also, you can't peer VPC connections with overlapping CIDR blocks, so the same set of IP addresses. And another rule is that there can be only one peering connection between the same two VPCs. And one other thing, security group referencing is not possible across VPCs. Okay, so now that we know what VPC peering is, let's go and see how it's done in a practical example. Okay, so here I have my default VPC. This VPC has a route table with a route to the public internet via an internet gateway. To demonstrate VPC peering, I will create another VPC, and this second VPC will have no route to the public internet. Then I will launch an instance into each of the VPCs, and then SSH into the instance which is reachable from the internet in the first VPC. And then from that instance, once I SSH'd in, I will connect to the private instance which is in the second VPC that has no route to the public internet, and I will SSH into that instance as well. Okay, so let's get started, and let's create a second VPC. This will be second VPC, just as that, and I will assign a CIDR block and tenancy default. Okay, so I have two VPCs. This is the first one, the default. I will give it the default name, and this is the second one I just launched. You see that I have here a route table for the second VPC, and this doesn't have a route to the internet gateway or to the public internet at all. The first one, the default one, it has a route. So let's move forward and go to EC2 and launch an instance into each of these VPCs. But before that, I will need to create a subnet for the second VPC I created. Let's create a subnet. So this will be private subnet in the second VPC, and we will assign a block of IP addresses in this format. Okay, this is now done, and now we can go to EC2 to launch the instances. Okay, the first instance we'll select Amazon Linux, T2 Micro is fine. Here we have the default VPC selected. We add storage and then tags, and then next we configure security group. I will select the default security group I have here. Okay, review and launch, and yeah, launch. I will use my existing key pair, launch instance. Okay, so this is now launching, and let's launch another one in the private subnet of the second VPC. Okay, here we will choose second VPC, add storage, add tags, configure security group. Here we will create a new security group for private instance. Here we have this rule that allows SSH traffic from anywhere. However, because the instance will be in a private subnet and will have no route from the internet, you will not be able to connect directly to this instance. So it will work only from the public instance that we already have launched before. Click on review and launch, and then use the key pair, the same key pair that I've used for the first instance. Okay, my instances are launching. We will wait a bit for them to launch and then resume the video. Okay, so my instance is finished launching. I have the first instance, which is in the default VPC here. It has a publicly accessible IP address, this public IP, and also a private one. You can see it's a default VPC. And here I have the instance in the second VPC, which doesn't have a public IP, only a private IP. So first we will try to connect to the instances. First we let me copy the IP address from here. Here I will use SSH agent forwarding to connect to both instances with the same key that is located only on my local machine. So for this I need to set this SSH agent and then add the identity. Okay, so now actually issue the command ssh -a ec2 user at the IP address. Okay, so it asks me for this confirmation, and now I'm connected to the EC2 instance with this private address and the public address that I've used. So this is the first instance. Yeah, here is the private IP and here is the public IP. Now let's try connecting to this private IP address. Remember, we didn't yet set up the VPC peering connection. So I will copy this to the clipboard and issue SSH EC2 user and use this address. And I've pressed on enter, but the connection is failing to be established. So in order for this to work, we need to set up the peering connection. I will interrupt this with Ctrl+C, and let's go back to the VPC control panel, and here we have this peering connections option, and we will create a peering connection. This will be peering 1, for example. The requester VPC will be the second VPC, and here you have the options to select the VPC within your own account or another account, this region or another region, and the acceptor VPC will be the default VPC. Okay, so create peering connection. Once you push this, a request has been made, and it says at the status pending acceptance. This is because you also need to approve this VPC connection. Here in this case both VPCs are mine, but in a scenario where you want to connect a VPC from another account, you will need the acceptance of the other account's owner. So here I also have the option to accept the request, and I will accept this connection request, and then the connection is now active. There is still one thing we need to do before we are able to connect to the instances. We need to allow the traffic to create the routes for the traffic in the route tables. So here we have the default route table. This is the route table for the default VPC, and here we need to tell it that all connections to the other VPC's IP address pool should go through the peering connections. So here I will need to edit the routes and add a new route which will say that any traffic to this CIDR block should go through the peering connection. And here I have the peering connection, select it and save routes. Okay, this was for the default VPC's route table, and also in the other route table which belongs to the second VPC. Here I also need to edit the routes and add a route for this CIDR block, which belongs to the other VPC, and I need to tell it that all traffic should go through a peering connection. Okay, save routes. Okay, so I have set up the routes, and now I should be able to connect to the private instance from my public instance. Let's go back and try again this command, and you can see that now I'm able to connect. I will say yes to this authentication prompt, and now you can see that I am connected to the private EC2 instance which has this IP address, and that is the one here. You see, this is the same IP address. So actually I was able to connect to this private instance via the peering connection. Okay, so this is how you set up VPC peering. I hope it was a useful video for you. If it was, please click on the like button, subscribe to the channel, and see you soon for another video on AWS.